Google makes more than 200 million euros every single day. Not from phones, not from software, not from subscriptions. Almost all of it comes from one thing: advertising. In fact, Google's ad business is so efficient that it earns more in a single day than most companies will make in their entire lifetime. And the scariest part? Most people don't even realize they're participating in it. This is the story of how Google turned raw human behavior into the most profitable business model in history. Google doesn't sell products to users. It sells access to users to advertisers. Every search, every map request, every YouTube video, every email, all of it feeds into a single system designed to answer one question: what is this person likely to do next? Advertisers don't pay Google to show ads. They pay Google to intercept intent. When someone searches best mortgage rate, cheap flights, or CRM software for small business, that's not curiosity. That's a buying signal. Google didn't just notice that signal. It built an auction around it. Every search query triggers a real-time bidding war between advertisers, where price is determined not just by budget, but by relevance, historical performance, and predicted conversion probability. The moment a search happens, Google is effectively running a micro stock exchange, pricing human intent in milliseconds. Before Google, advertising was guesswork: billboards, TV ads, magazine spreads. You paid upfront and hoped someone cared. Google flipped that model completely. Advertisers only pay when someone clicks. That single change turned advertising from branding into performance. Marketing became measurable. Every click could be tracked, every conversion attributed, every campaign optimized. Advertising stopped being creative first and became mathematical first. Google didn't just improve advertising, it financialized attention. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Google's real product isn't search. It isn't Gmail. It isn't YouTube. It's behavioral data. Google knows what you search, where you go, what you watch, what you ignore, what you scroll past, and what makes you hesitate. It knows when your habits change. It knows when your priorities shift. And it knows when you're close to making a decision. That data feeds machine learning models designed to predict future behavior with increasing accuracy. And in advertising, prediction is pricing power. The more accurately Google can predict outcomes, the more confidently it can charge advertisers, because uncertainty disappears. That's why Google's margins are so high. Advertisers don't want to rely on Google. They have to, because Google controls over 90% of global search, the world's largest video platform, the default browser on billions of devices, and the operating system behind most smartphones. If you want demand capture, you go where intent already exists, and intent lives on Google. Opting out doesn't mean saving money. It means voluntarily shrinking your business. This is where the system becomes self-reinforcing. More users create more data. More data improves prediction accuracy. Better predictions increase advertiser ROI. Higher ROI attracts more advertisers. More advertisers drive up auction prices. Higher prices increase revenue. More revenue funds better products. The loop feeds itself. Competitors don't just need a better search engine, they need to break the entire economic cycle, and almost none of them can. Search captures intent. YouTube creates it. Google doesn't just respond to what people want, it shapes what they want before they even realize it. YouTube influences behavior upstream, while search captures it downstream. That gives Google power at both ends of the funnel. It manufactures demand at the top and monetizes it at the bottom. That's why Google's advertising machine keeps printing money. Not because ads are clever, not because users are trapped, but because Google sits at the exact intersection of attention, intent, prediction, and scale, and no other company comes close. That's how Google turned data into the most profitable business in history. And here's the part most people miss. This system isn't just profitable, it's structurally defensive. Every year, regulators fine Google billions. Every year, governments threaten breakups. And every year, the advertising engine keeps growing. Because even if Google were split apart, the data doesn't disappear, the demand doesn't vanish, and the habits don't change. People still search, they still watch, they still click, which means advertisers still follow. That's the real strength of the model. It doesn't rely on innovation cycles, it doesn't rely on hardware refreshes, and it doesn't rely on consumer loyalty. It relies on behavior. As long as humans search for answers, directions, entertainment, and solutions, there will be intent. And as long as intent exists, someone will monetize it. Google just happens to be the company that built the most efficient system ever created to do exactly that. That's why this business doesn't peak. It compounds. And that's why Google's advertising machine is likely to keep printing money long after the products themselves fade into the background. And there's one final reason this model is so hard to disrupt. Google doesn't need to convince users to pay. It doesn't need to upsell. And it doesn't need to change behavior. The value is created quietly, in the background. Every improvement in prediction, even a fraction of a percent, increases revenue across millions of advertisers, billions of searches, and trillions of data points. That scale turns tiny optimizations into enormous financial outcomes. Most businesses chase growth by adding features. Google grows by refining accuracy. And that's why this advertising engine doesn't behave like a normal company. It behaves like infrastructure, invisible, essential, and almost impossible to replace. And once a system reaches this scale, it stops competing. It simply exists. Advertisers adapt to it. Businesses budget around it, and entire industries are built assuming it will always be there. That's not growth anymore. That's permanence. This is Biz Decoded. Like and subscribe for more videos like this.